B2B Demo Day. This is Pankaj Gupta from EthAum Venture Partners. We would like to start the event with a brief intro from from Madhu. And here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm delighted to extend a warm greeting to all the investors, innovation leaders and startups who are joining us today for EthAum Venture Partners B2B Demo Day. Just to introduce myself, I'm Madhu Khandelwal, Managing Partner at EthAum. We are a deep tech revenue scaler based in Singapore with a portfolio of over 100 B2B and global startups. Today, 11 deep tech startups who were accepted into the zero-based revenue scaler July 2023 cohort will be presented. We conduct this program with the sole purpose of securing enterprise pilots, and our sales partners, resellers, system integrators have consistently supported us in this endeavor. During the program, along with a bunch of other activities, startups also went through live stream roast sessions where their dream customers roasted them and offered fabulous guidance on the GTM as well as pilot opportunities. What could be better than conducting product demos with your dream customers or industry celebrities and receiving growth insights from them? You can check these sessions on EthAum's YouTube channel. Also, I'm excited to share that we are accepting applications for our next cohort, which is starting from January 2024. Interested startups can get in touch. Today, the startups that are being showcased come from a variety of countries and industries, including BFSI, robotics, sustainability, marine, pharma, and real estate. You will watch the pre-recorded video pitches for 4 minutes and we will take 1 or 2 questions up. If there are more questions, then please put them in the chat section and the respective founders will reply soon. We also have very amazing jury that is varied and has a lot of experience in the investment space. The jury will rate startups according to a number of criteria and provide feedback at the end of the event. I hope you have fun at the event and fall in love with our founders' passion and innovative solutions. Now, I will ask Pankaj to move the event along. Once again, thanks a lot for joining the event and supporting us today.
Thanks, Madhu, for this energetic start. Now it's time for our esteemed jury to introduce themselves. I would request our jury members to do a brief 30 seconds introduction. And I will start with Yug.
Yes, so my name is Hugues. Hello, I work for a family office in Hong Kong. I'm in charge of early stage venture capital investments. We focus on supply chain logistics and environment. I also advise startup on business management. And we target Asia, Africa, and Europe startup.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Hugh. Really appreciate your attendance today. Menu, may I request you to do an intro, please?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Pankaj. So I would like to express my sincere gratitude to EthAum Ventures for giving this wonderful opportunity to be a part of today's jury. And it's truly an honor to be surrounded by such innovation and entrepreneurial spirit. Speaking about my career, I have more than 17 years of experience in the dynamic landscape of fintech sector. And I have had the privilege to work with the leading organizations like Thomson Reuters and many other brokerage houses across India and Middle East. And along with that, I also have some enriching entrepreneurial experiences. And during that entrepreneurial journey, it was identified, I recognized a significant gap between what the investors are expecting from founders and the genuine aspirations of founders. So this is where Gritseek Ventures is coming into space. And we are a data-driven consulting firm, which helps in becoming a strategic partner for the onboarding ventures and help them in planning their entire fundraising journey. So looking forward to have a great association and collaboration with EthAum Ventures and its portfolio. And really excited to see today's presentations and from the founders who are going today.
Thanks a lot, Minu. Really appreciate it. Davis?
Hi, good afternoon and probably good evening to a few. My name is Jabez. I'm from Reddington, India Limited. I've been with Reddington for about 18 years. I've handled various roles. Right now, I'm handling strategy for a part of our consumer and technology solutions group. I'm really looking forward to learn from all the startups, but more importantly, we are looking at how Redington can engage with some of the startups as we move forward. So I'm excited to hear from all of you as we move forward in the entire digital transformation era. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Jabez. Really appreciate it. Anshul, may I request you to do an intro, please?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, and thanks especially to the EthAum team to kind of invite me in this event. So I have been a serial entrepreneur. I was majorly in the US for my MS, and then I was part of the founding team with my professors for a fintech company that we eventually sold off to one of the bigger giants called CoreLogic for $750 million back in 2012-13. So that was a unicorn at that kind of time. And then I relocated to India because I wanted to do something for India, and went to school at Ahmedabad. Also was a part of the innovation and entrepreneurship cell over there, and have had a stint at Airtel, at many other companies, but finally took up a more stable kind of a job with my alma mater in running a financial inclusion lab at CICO, and have actually mentored more than 150 companies across startups across India, Southeast Asia, Francophone, Anglophone Africa, US, and UK. And then I decided to found kind of my own startup consulting firm, which is targeting startups that are poised for growth. And so we started that almost 18 months back, and we already have 20 odd startups in our portfolio, ranging from cyber tech to sports tech to fintech, all are kind of B2B SaaS or B2B tech companies. And our aim is to basically help startups expand at a global scale, expand revenue wise and market wise in that sense. And we're a bunch of Ahmedabad and Lucknow, Harvard, and Stanford kind of graduates who kind of help startups in this regard. Thank you for having me again.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Anshul. Tahir.
Pankaj, thank you very much for the opportunity. Lovely to see you all. My name is Tahir. I am a partner at a firm called Savant. Savant has been around for about 20 years in various forms, supporting entrepreneurs in the science and engineering fields. So we do incubation for super early, so late stage R&D, moving into market entry. We do investment readiness acceleration, and we also have a VC arm dedicated to getting companies from the pre-seed stage all the way through to Series A and beyond. So yeah, we've been investing in everything from health tech to agri-tech to energy to water, smart agriculture, aerospace. We've also got hydrogen production. So we've got a few cool things, firmware, IoT, manufacturing as well in the portfolio. So some B2B SaaS as well. That's sort of your graph intelligence. So we've got quite a wide variety of deep tech companies that we're investing. Primarily, we're looking at Africa. We will look at companies that have a vision to execute in Africa as well. So it's not that everything that we do in the future will be purely African based.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Tahir. Appreciate your time. Ricardo?
Yes, thank you, Pankaj, and thank you, Madhu, for the invitation. Happy to be here joining from Singapore. I'm Ricardo. I work as a program director at Startup Bootcamp. Startup Bootcamp is one of the world's largest startup accelerators, been around since 2010, have accelerated more than 1,700 startups who went on to raise around $3 billion. So we're present in many markets, including Europe, Australia, Singapore, and Brazil. My focus is on energy, so I've been working with energy startups for the past few years in Melbourne and Singapore, running programs with investors and corporates of the likes of Shell and Energy Australia. So happy to be here and listening to the pitch.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot. Rashmi?
Yeah, hi Pankaj and hi Madhu. Hello everyone. Thank you Pankaj and Madhu for inviting me for this session. I'm based in India, in Pune. I represent a fund called Tech Fortune VC. It's a very unique fund which is focusing on experienced professionals who are wanting to turn entrepreneur and wanting to kind of set up tech startups, especially tech startups which are around data engineering, artificial intelligence, generative AI, and so on and so forth. We have a very unique ecosystem where we kind of support them with whatever it takes from business to zero to a couple of million USD. I personally have been instrument to few of the startup growth from zero to a couple of million USD. All our startup are either US focused and India based. I'm happy to be among you. Looking forward for the startup. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Rashmi. Subhashish.
Yeah, hi. Good to be here. Thanks for the invitation, Madhu and Pankaj. And a good afternoon from India to all the fellow panelists. I've got about 23 years under the belt. I've traversed different domains, starting from customer service to advertising, led marketing for a startup, then moved on and did my own gig in terms of consulting for startups, and also trying some spice business on my own. And then eventually now I'm with SAP. I'm heading marketing for them for industries and supply chain. Been about 7 years over here. And again, being a part of the tech fraternity now, it's exciting to see all the things that are happening. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Again, thanks a lot, all the jury members, for being part of the event today. I'm sure you will have a lot of fun and you will ask some really interesting questions to startups. Jurors, please don't forget to score startups after their pitch. We will also seek your final take at the end of all the pitches. Also, please use jury suffix with your name so that the audience can identify you easily. Before diving into the pitches, I would like to share some housekeeping rules. Please keep yourself muted throughout the event and mute yourself when it is required. Please use chat section for the Q&A only. We don't have to spam it. If you are a service provider and want to share more about your services, your work, then we will give you 10 minutes in the end to promote yourself. Raise your hands using emoji if you want to ask questions so that we know who wants to ask question. Now it's time to start. We have a very first presentation from BoatMate. It's a US Turkey-based startup which is digitizing the marine industry. And here we go.
I'm a co-founder of BoatMate. 90% of boaters are frustrated by the inability to make online purchases, to interact digitally with marine businesses, because marine businesses have a big digital presence and they keep offering low-tech customer experience. To solve the problem, we developed BoatMate. Our digital platform helps marine businesses in their digital transformation, so they can start selling and interacting online with a better customer experience. Consider marine businesses, which are marinas, technical services, cleaning services, or marine stores. From their perspective, BoatMate is a digitization hub that they can use our turnkey e-commerce solutions and start selling online with a better experience. On the other hand, from a boater's perspective, BoatMate is the ultimate platform and a one-stop solution for working with reliable marine businesses. Let's take a look at the market. Official reports indicate that the industry has more than $400 billion economic impact, and by considering an average spending of boater is $1,000, 130 million boaters all around the world create $130 billion serviceable addressable market for us. It's a giant blue ocean market in terms of competition. Our main competitor is Boatyard, which was acquired by MarineMax. Even if we have similarities, we both have completely different models. We help marine businesses directly sell to boaters, where they make them supplier and provide the service under its brand. To accelerate the growth in the global market and create a snowball effect, we developed SaaS-based BoatMate Business Hub solution. This solution is a kind of letting key players in the market, such as marinas, boat dealers, or insurance firms, to create their branded BoatMate. For instance, a marina. They can leverage the solution, invite their trusted partners to its business hub, and provide anything their customer need on a single platform. This approach transforms the key players and make them yachting experience firm, unlock new revenue stream for them, and also boost our global expansion by helping us acquire boaters and businesses. Till now, we have received registration of more than 250 marine businesses and 1.4 thousand boaters for test period. We have made a strong strategic partnership with important brands, and we have accomplished our public beta test in the Eastern Europe. We have raised 200,000 US dollars to date and made a funding agreement for 450K with a European Innovation Fund. Our business model is hybrid. It is based on earning subscriptions and commissions from marine businesses. We achieved to surpass $100 million turnover in 3 years. Currently, we are raising $1 million to expanding in the US and Europe. 70% has been secured, and there left only 350K to close the round. With this investment, we target onboarding 6,000 marine businesses, 200,000 boaters, and reach $25 million revenue in 2 years. We are two experienced co-founders with 15 plus years of experience for each. Asim is leading the technical part and I'm leading the business part. Thanks for listening. We strongly believe that Boatmate will be leading digital transformation of the industry, and it needs to be backed by visionary and passionate investors that eager to disrupt the industry. If you feel that you are the one and want to make the history, invest us. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have Murat on the call to answer your questions, and you may see poll on your screen. Please respond to that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to session.
You can unmute yourself to ask questions.
So what exactly is the product that you're selling? Because I get that the business can subscribe to like a shop on Amazon, and the people with the boat can come in to shop. But you weren't very specific at why people would come to your platform, and what would you really be a growth driver there? What would you become the one-stop shop?
Great question. Thank you very much. So Amazon kind of platform is just, let's say, one part of our business. At first, we are trying to digitize the customer experience. So marine businesses are, having an issue with, lack of digital experience, digital customer experience. So at first, we provide them some payment solutions, e-commerce solutions, kind of things, in order to help them to sell their product and services in a better way, with a better customer experience. This is what we are selling at first. And we gather all those digitized business on our application, and that application becomes a one-stop solution for the boaters. And this is, let's say, this is an unsolved problem in the boating industry. Maybe if you consider other mobilities, these kind of digital tools are already exist, and there are, many in the market. But when it comes to boating, you cannot find it. So that's the reason why our offering is very unique. And even without making any marketing in our text area, we let's say we could acquire hundreds of marine business and thousands of boaters. This also shows the interest in the market.
Thank you. Tahir, please go ahead.
Thank you. You've kind of like partially addressed my question in your answer to the last question, but I'm just looking at, I think you mentioned something about acquiring 6,000 marine businesses in the US, but your budget is $1 million. And we've looked at, internationalizing a few companies before, and like $1 million to get that volume of customers in the US just feels very low. So could you break down what you're going to be doing with that $1 million?
Sure. So our business acquisition model is quite different. First, we have Marine Business Hub solution, which lets marinas, boat dealers, insurance firm who has a large customer base and large supplier base. We help them to create a sub-marketplace on the BoatMate platform, their customized branded marketplace. So let's say by selling 100 marinas or boat dealers and insurance firm, we will be able to acquire almost let's say 1,000 suppliers to the platform, because they invite their suppliers, which basically we can acquire supplier with a network effect. This is one thing. The other thing is our business acquisition process is 3 steps. At first, we put a point of interest of the businesses, and the second step is businesses claim their profile. Even without start using our e-commerce solutions, they will be able to create a digital presence on the platform, and then they can purchase our paid solutions. So we considered $6,000 marine businesses who claim their profile.
Thanks a lot, Murat.
This is a bit easier to sell.
I know there are more questions. Probably we should take those questions on the chat section. We'll have to move on to the next presentation, which is Modular CX. It's a UK-based startup which is offering or empowering e-commerce players to create, manage, and publish 3D online shops. And here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Modular CX. We are a customer experience company that is transforming retail with 3D technology. Our mission is to democratize immersive 3D shopping experiences to all businesses. And here is a great example for one of our clients that have successfully adopted our solution. Today's e-commerce landscape faces significant challenges. Implementing 3D technology is often expensive, it's complex, and it scales poorly, making it inaccessible for most of the 24 million businesses striving to adopt it. Enter Morpho, our next-gen 3D e-commerce platform. Morpho allows brands to offer captivating 3D visuals and interactive product experiences with innovative features like real-time product customization and virtual try-ons, which enhances customer engagement and builds product confidence. And what makes us unique is Morpho, which is designed for scalability and simplicity. Our solution democratizes 3D technology with customizable templates and intuitive tools for non-3D natives, offering them an all-in-one 3D e-commerce solution that is 40% more affordable and 3 times more efficient and scalable for SMEs. We are currently focused on the luxury and specialty retail sector, valued at $75 billion, with a target market capitalization of $120 million within the next 3 years. There is a clear and unique market opportunity for self-service solutions tailored for brands and professionals lacking 3D experiences. We stand out by offering a user-friendly and cost-effective 3D alternative, filling a significant gap in the market. In just the last 10 months, we've achieved remarkable milestones. Our pipeline has expanded by 200 deals worth $4 million. We formed over 5 global partnerships with industry leaders like Bearsdab and DHL Express, and we've proudly acquired 17 satisfied clients. Our 3-year market strategy relies on aggressive expansion. We're targeting 300 clients by the end of this period, focusing on luxury and specialty retail. Our approach includes strategic partnerships and targeted digital campaigns to ensure a robust market presence. Our team's strength lies in our unity and shared vision. Having worked together for the last 3.5 years, we've built a culture of innovation and dedication. This synergy has been a crucial factor in our development and success. Our financial projections reflect our ambitious yet achievable targets. By 2026, we expect a threefold increase in our client base with a net profit margin of 0.74 million and an EBITDA of 3.4 million. We invite you to invest in this growth journey, seeking a £2 million investment to accelerate our marketing strategy and achieve our ambitious targets. With a proven product market fit and a solid plan, we're set for impressive growth.
Okay, that is Modular CX. Do we have any questions for Bilal? Yeah, please go ahead, Hugh.
Yes. So your financial projection is from 2024. Do you have at the moment a live product or any paid customer?
Yes, we do. So in total, we have 18 paying customers, and we are generating 150K in annual recurring revenues.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Rashmi. Please go ahead, Rashmi.
Hey, thanks, Pankaj. Hey, hi, Bilal. This was a good presentation. Just a quick question to you. What is the ticket size you have from a typical customer, and what's your customer acquisition strategy as of now?
Okay, so on average, based on our CRM analytics, the average ticket size is 35K for 2 years on average.
Okay, so you're saying 35K spread over 2 years, right?
Exactly. And
Okay.
this includes upfront fees and monthly subscriptions.
Okay. And what is the acquisition strategy which you are taking? Because this seems to be a little less ticket size to me, but what's the acquisition strategy you have as of now?
So in terms of user acquisition?
Yeah.
Yes, so it's twofold. One is primarily driven by digital campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
So mass email outreach campaigns, a mix of thought leaderships and ads, and this has been proven very well. And the other part is developing strategic partnerships that can accelerate our market penetration in niche industries.
Sure.
So with
Thanks,
e-commerce
Phil.
platforms and web agencies and so on.
I think there's a question from Anshul. Anshul?
Hi, well, great presentation. Just two questions, short questions. What are the target geographies you're looking at? And secondly, I'm assuming you're selling through B2B channels. So what's the kind of average TAT that you face?
Okay, please can you rephrase your final question? I just didn't hear it well.
Average, selling time to the B2Bs.
In terms of what solutions?
The sales cycle. What is this? How long is the sales cycle?
Yeah, sales cycle.
Okay. So for the first part, in terms of geography, we're targeting globally any English-speaking country. That's one. And for the second question, it takes about a month for the enterprise solutions, and it takes about 1 week for the startup packages we have from both clients.
Thanks a lot, Bilal. Please take more questions in the chat section. Next is Singular Technology from Hong Kong, offering a mixed reality software application to help surgeons to visualize patients' anatomy during operation. And here we go.
Hi, this is Louis. I'm the founder and CEO of Singular Technology. Singular is a software development company specialized in mixed reality in medical applications. And we are trying to solve the problem for surgical guidance because it takes a lot of cognitive loading for the surgeons to remember all the complex anatomy of the patient. And we also want to reduce the risk related to surgery, and we want to help them to perform in a more efficient manner. At the same time, we also need better tools to provide better training experience for the students. So why right now is a good time to promote mixed reality technology is because the availability of 5G network and AI technology, and also better headset hardware. And our hospital authority also emphasized to undergo different smart hospital initiative. We want to digitize what is happening inside the hospital, inside the operation room, so that we can collect more data for different analysis and for better training purposes. So my product involved three solutions. First is we want to use mixed reality to guide surgical intervention. Imagine we produce a digital twins of the patient, and the doctor can overlay the 3D model on top of the patient during the surgery when they are away from their desktop computer. And the overlay images can provide visual guidance for doctors to perform skin marking, bone cutting, and even implant installations. And second, we can share or stream out the video of the doctor's first-person view, and they can interact immersively with people from another locations. And lastly is our AI-powered medical image conversion platform. So before we used to take a few days to model the 3D model. Now we can use AI to do 3D reconstruction, high realism rendering to produce a case file to be installed and visualized in different headsets. So why we can do it better than other team? Because we came from game development background. So we care about image quality. We handle a lot of 3D models, and we can reduce latency in a very high level. So we have patented our first AI workflow to turn medical images into 3D model and render. Apple will also launch their first MR headset, and we are now working closely to translate our product to their platform, so that we believe the new headset will elevate our product and also help us to extend to other markets. So again, myself, I've been working in medical 3D printing for over 10 years. And we realized the limitation of 3D printing because it takes time for printing and cost. And so we want to use mixed reality to provide more high-speed production for the doctor to handle emergency cases. And that's all I want to share today, and thank you.
Okay, we have Luis on the call to answer your questions. Yep, Jabez, please go ahead.
Yeah, nice presentation. I want to know how who is your competition? And then you mentioned some headsets. Is it compatible with? You mentioned Apple, but is it compatible with the Quest of Meta? And also, I wanted to know at what stage is your application really helping the doctors? Is it during the operation, or is it pre or post? Thank you.
So we do have a few competitors a few years ahead of us, and just 2 days ago, I returned from Singapore and met some of the competitors, and I look at their product really closely, and I think what they are focused on is the connectivity inside the hospital, which means they want to get some image in the headset real quick with some level of rendering, but they didn't put the effort to actually make the model in high detail. Because of my experience in 3D printing, we care about how much detail we can show the surgeon, and we can segment them with all the geometry, not just a bunch of pixel or voxel. We are high-level visualization tools, and that give a lot of internal insight to the surgeon. So that is our differentiation. And our product is currently compatible with Microsoft HoloLens 2. And we are working closely to convert that to iOS. And we aim to use it in
during the operation. That means when the surgery is performed. Of course, you can also use that before and after. And right now, we just finished our proof of concept stage in a local hospital, and we are receiving a paid subscription from the hospital already. And next phase would be to get all the certification for overseas market.
Fantastic. I see there are a bunch of questions on the chat right now. Rashmi, please go ahead.
Thanks, Pankaj. Hey, hi, Louis. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was nice to see medicine and technology talking to each other, and that also the latest. I have a question more from the consumer and which is a patient lens. So this product is more from the surgeon's help, right? That you can actually visualize and get to the precision. But my question is, with this precision, who bears the cost? That's number one. And number two is usually in Asia Pacific, and I guess in US too, the patient prefer the experienced surgeons, right? Especially for a surgery. You go for an experienced surgeon. And for a surgeon to have a view, at times it is a disturbance, right? Because for a surgeon, their hands are so used to the surgery that they really find the views to be disturbing them. So what's your take on that, right? Thank you.
Excellent question. So I'm totally with you. I also believe in surgeon's hand. That's why, as opposed to build a company with surgical robots, I believe in using some visual guidance to help surgeon's hand to perform better. So still, you are being served by experienced surgeon, but with more information in their eyes. So I think that that can only help them to perform better. And also we pick. This is essentially a work guidance tool. So we pick the one of the most difficult tasks for guidance, and for consumer market, I believe this is an excellent tool for training. So anything that involves 3D visualization, we can help. So we are actually working with a university to translate some of the hands-on training with this kind of platform.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to add, that this can actually benefit the medicine colleges a lot for training the new doctors in
yeah. Thanks a lot, Rashmi. I think we can take one last question from Ricardo, and the rest of the questions will have to move to the chat section. Ricardo, please go ahead quickly.
Yes, thank you. Just to piggyback on the last point, Louis, thanks for the presentation. I was going to ask you, why focusing on guided interventions first and not education and getting into colleges first, which is a less regulatory heavy environment, and how do you see the regulatory risk of your solution?
Yes, correct. So this is a more niche market, but also with higher barrier to enter. So as a small company, and we develop really hard, and we want to stay away from the major competition and grab something that is low hanging fruit to us. Since I've been doing medical 3D printing for 10 years, and we have existing client base for all these surgical team already using 3D printing, and what they're looking for is surgical guidance at that moment. That's why we start this area first.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Louis. Again, apologies, but we'll have to move the other questions to the chat section. Next is Booked from Hong Kong. They offer private modular work booths with access control. And here we go.
This is Ben. He's CEO of a fast-growing tech company in Hong Kong. Last year, he moved his team from a co-working space into his own office. But Ben had problems: lack of meeting space, fitting everyone into the office with all the growth, and managing people working from home. He wanted to renovate to create meeting rooms, but was put off by the cost and the fact his lease was coming up for renewal. Ben's dilemma reflects common pain points in commercial real estate. First, office decisions can be a nightmare. Companies are forced to anchor their growth assumptions in office leases that extend over multiple years. Getting it wrong means either too much space or not enough. Second, the rise in work from home is affecting how companies manage their teams and office space. And with traditional renovations costing over $200 per square feet, the need to get it right with sustainable and effective workplaces is more important than ever. But what if I told you that you could renovate your office at $70 per square foot? What if this could be done in weeks rather than months? And what if you had access to key data to help manage office utilization? I'm David, co-founder and CEO of Booked. Our Workplace to Go solution provides the hardware and software that enables enterprises to easily set up and manage fully automated workplaces in their existing offices and buildings. Here's how it works. Start with a warm shell, any space. Pick the modular furniture you need. Automate the space with our access control, booking technology, and occupancy sensors. Then manage the space with our mission control platform. And that's it. Our business model, one-off charges for hardware and monthly fees for software. Today, our average order value is $18,000 with margins of 42%. We launched our first Workplace to Go product, our Smart Booths, in May 2021. Today, we have clients across property, education, finance, and healthcare. Clients such as Tandem Properties, who is creating an automated co-working amenity in an apartment block in Toronto, or Hong Kong's PolyU, who is using Workplace to Go to tech enable their entire office. They use Booked because our solution either increases revenues or asset values through amenities and monetization, or reduces costs through automation, rapid deployment, and lower renovation expenses. This is a $1.4 trillion opportunity. We expect 10 million in revenues this year, scaling to 20 million in the next 24 months. Here's how. First, we could be tripling our inbound lead funnel by investing more in events and growth campaigns. Second, we can extend existing channel partnerships with systems integrators and office furniture providers internationally. Then there's this. We're ensuring our solution can work with any office furniture system, existing meeting room or workplace in a building or office. I'm David. I've grown startups in Asia and Europe. My co-founders, Charles, deep operations background from private equity. And Ken, he developed the contactless card system that's being used in the Beijing subway system. Between us, we have 3 exits and 6 patents. Now, earlier, I talked about Ben. He installed Workplace to Go booths in his office, and that's the picture on the bottom right. Our analytics showed that they were being used 6 hours a day, so he bought 2 more. He just moved into a new office and moved our systems there too. So let's connect the dots. Future-proof workplace, cost-effective and time-saving solution, sustainable solution with zero construction waste, and data analytics to implement machine learning algorithms for clients to maximize their office assets. We're seeking 3.5 million in funding to expand our operations in North America and accelerate our product development. Flexibility in real estate doesn't have to cost the earth. So be part of our story, and together we can make work better. Thank you.
Okay, questions for David? You can unmute yourself or raise hand. Yeah, Rashmi, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, David. I don't have a question. I only have one comment and input for you. Post-COVID, I have seen mid to large enterprise organization struggling with 2 things, how to utilize their existing infrastructure and how to get the employees to the office. Considering that, you really have to kind of give it a very deep thought to your own business model. How do you kind of stay relevant in coming times? So no question as such, but I thought I'll just give you this.
Thank you, Rashmi. Appreciate that. Anshul, please go ahead.
Hi, David. Really a neat solution. We already work with some co-working management companies, and I was just wondering if you are, open to partnerships with them. What's your business model going forward look like? And anything which is like a moat to you, because there are still some companies that work in this area. So what is your USP in that regard?
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's a good one. Look, to the first part of your question, yes, we actually do work with co-working spaces, among others. So we actually work with WeWork. I'm not sure that's necessarily a good name to be thrown around now, but look, our model is pretty straightforward, right? It's hardware sales, add in the software license fees. We can also do financing depending on how they want to do it. So the model is quite flexible. It's quite straightforward. So moving on to the moats, look, what I would say is this. If you look, basically what we're doing is we're providing an end-to-end modular solution, which involves both the hardware and the tech. What we see is that, look, there are companies out there, say, for example, Steelcase, they can do modular, they can do the furniture, they don't do the tech. right? Similarly, you've got software companies out there that do the software, but they don't do the hardware. And so typically what happens, and you see this in a lot of construction projects for enterprises, they'll bring in like a project manager or designer to try and figure things out. So they'll choose the hardware, the furniture, whatever, and they'll go, oh, we have a problem. How do we integrate our technology, right? And that's actually a huge issue that we see in the construction industry and design industry right now. So for us, we basically eliminate that that chasm, if you will, by providing basically integrating space as a service, both the hardware and the software elements.
Okay, fantastic. We can take one last question from Meenu. Meenu, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Pankaj. And thank you, David, for this wonderful presentation.
Thanks, Meenu.
So my only query is like, when it, in the recent time, like the co-working spaces have become very common and, there are lots of competition from that space for you. So how you are planning to, leverage your, this concept when it comes to the competitive space currently?
Yeah,
and also
so
the emerging markets, like what is your focus on the emerging markets? Like India, like,
sure.
There is a huge requirement, which I feel for this kind of a setup.
I first of all, I would love to talk to you about India. We do, it is on our radar, but I think we're sort of prioritizing. I mean, I want to conquer the world, but, we've only got about 40, 50 people, right? So, but if we can find right partners, I'd love to be able to expand that. In terms of how we actually work, look, the big issue that we see, not only with co-working spaces, but also for, renovations with companies. I mentioned a figure of $200 per square foot for typical renovations and fit outs. That's an average figure from companies like JLL and Cushwick. That's a huge barrier, I think, for any company wanting to expand or be flexible or change their offices. So the fact that we can actually offer something at $70 per square foot, there's a huge delta there. And so what it does is it hopefully makes these companies a little bit more open to trying new things, to renovating, to be able to sort of set up satellite offices, because the expense and the risk is a lot less than if they're having to go through a traditional renovation.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks a lot, David. Next
Thank
is
you.
Pantap, a Singapore-based AI-powered asset management tool for family offices and high net worth individuals. And here we go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yong, and together with Darren, we are excited to present Pantap, an AI company incorporated 2019, released at 2023. I will walk you through the investment opportunity, starting with the serviceable market, then the product, and the traction we have gained, and how we plan to monetize our traction. Let's dive into the potential market first, okay? From the total of $297 trillion total market size, including mass market, pension fund, insurance companies, sovereign, and private market, and all this above mentioned is very human-driven. Only 2% is managed by technology, and it takes 15 years for this 2% to happen. And research shows that in the next 10 years, the digital transformation in this sector is set to jump from 2% to 30%. And the motivation of this is coming from the urge to automate the process of investment decision-making. This is how we come into the picture. We use the AI Fund Manager as a plugin to tap into this market. And this is our high-level AI architecture chart. The key message is 80% of our effort are spending in global data. And through the stage of go-to-market, we saw the great interest in our AI with API approach. And also, we already have an AI fund powered by our technology running in Singapore. And this is the most important slide, which is our key material that we present to our client. We will walk through the AI behavior step by step with clients, and through this practice, our client can understand better in the technology how the AI make decision, how the AI manage the portfolio, how the AI perform. And our unique selling point are personalized, which means personalized according client needs and global market available. And the most important is the data-driven decision approach. And we also provide the AI report according to client prefer, such as watch list, custom mandate, as part of the product demo to clients. That's how we introduce our product to our clients.
Our unique selling point and approach has been well received, as evidenced by our traction since February this year, 2023, during our market debut. We secured our significant first client, a renowned local family office, and saw increased interest after joining the ETHAum cohort and attending the Singapore FinTech Festival. Our revenue model is straightforward. More asset under management means more revenue, scaling as the percentage of API fees we receive. To date, we have raised $1.7 million and are now seeking an additional $5 million through SAFE financing. This funding will primarily be used to expand our global presence and market outreach, i.e. business development, adhering to our simple yet effective strategy of working with more partners, leading to more sales. For more info on our investment terms and to join our journey, please reach out at office@pentac.com. I'm Darren, co-founder of Pentac, and I look forward to welcoming you onto our list of esteemed shareholders. Thank you.
Fantastic. Questions for, Minu, please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So thank you for this wonderful presentation. And it's really, the need of the hour, like the AI is playing a major role in the investment sector. But I have a query here is it's concerning about the ethical implications. How do you manage that when you design this product? Because AI works on the data which is already available. So when it comes to the investment perspective, can you just let us know how it can be?
Sure, I'll take this question. Thanks, Manu, for the question. If I understand correctly, you're wanting to know what's the constraint we put in place in the AI to make sure it's the efficacy of the AI, right? Yeah. So the AI itself, as what Yong and during our presentation mentioned, solved one very key pain point, which is personalization at scale. So before the AI could actually start going to work, you actually need to fit it the constraint. What sort of investment preference you want, the industry you want, what the things you also want to exclude. So the AI not just allow you to build your portfolio, your equities, it also helps you exclude things, which makes us very in demand in the market, and we went debut because people want the emerging themes like Sharia compliance, the UAE market, as well as ESG. People are asking for a product that can help them meet to their firm's ESG demands. So in that sense, you are the humans have the ultimate control and input over our AI when it comes before the AI can start building the portfolio.
Thank you. There's a question from you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So then just a quick check now over here. Which market are you looking at catering to? And if you're looking at expanding, how does it factor in regulatory measures that would have to be in place? Question. And do you have those expansion plans? What's the timeline like?
Yep. So two parts of the question. First part is in terms of regional expansion. We are looking in the regional expansion in the likes of Singapore, India, UAE, obviously, because of Sharia compliance product fitting really well with them, Australia and Europe. And this is also coming back from the recent Singapore FinTech Festival, the traction we got. So to the second part of the question about go-to-market, very simple. We are constantly looking for strategic partners to work with them who have inroads into the markets, be able to support us from a compliance front and the network distribution end, and then partner with them to bring our product in market. So that's our to answer your two parts of your question.
Thank you. Let's take the last question from Tahir.
Hi, Darren. So I'm just looking at how you guys are operating, and it looks like you have to have a customized almost deployment per customer, and then you're going to have to continue tweaking it on that on an ongoing basis. So my question is, as you scale to all these different markets and you start getting all these family offices and high net worths on board, how are you guys managing the cost of customer relations or account management on that front?
Yep, for sure. Great question. We get that a lot when we're doing this round of traction and we're asking. The short answer is because we built the AI from scratch ourselves, we spent about 2 years structuring the data on our end. We were able to make the approach that we took, the proprietary IP that we have here is really the secret sauce here to help us maintain our cost low while trying to service the customization needs of our clients, the high net worths and the family offices. And this round of fundraising is really a testimony of that, right? People look at it, they go, yeah, because the AI is built to scale, built to serve the mass market as our end goal. And first phase of that is to serve high net worth and scale this customization piece of that. So the AI, our system architecture itself is already built for that need. So that's sort of how we keep our costs low, because we build the system from scratch. We encode the data from scratch. We don't take existing or models out there and adopt it into what we need them to, and that puts us on the competitive edge over our competitors.
Thanks a lot, Darren. There are more questions in the chat section. Please take them in the Zoom chat. Next is Soaring Robotics, which is a US-based startup leveraging robotics, computer vision, and AI to automate cannabis production. And here we go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natal Partansky, and I'm the founder and CEO of Soaring Robotics. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about what Soaring Robotics is doing currently in the automation space and where we're going to. First off, I'd like to address the problem that we're currently tackling, and that is the lack of automation in the cannabis industry. As the cannabis industry moves from cottage to commercial production, there needs to be automation to scale this industry. We pivoted into the cannabis industry back in 2020, and we've become a market leader ever since. In the cannabis market, we've developed several solutions that allow our customers to fully automate the manufacturing of pre-rolls and joints, from the production to infusion and final packaging of the fastest growing market segment in the industry. We are an end-to-end solution for our customers. We build all of these products into a unified system that ties together with an IoT telemetry backend that then pipes into an in-house cloud analytics software we call Laka. The cannabis industry was our initial foray into making a unified solution for our customers. Next year, we look to apply this unified solution approach into other industries as well. Our business model is simple. We either sell the technology outright as a capital expense, or we do a robotics as a service model with a smaller but recurring revenue cycle. All of our products, we're getting at least 80% gross margin, and that allows us to grow rapidly. Our trailing 12 months of revenue is about $6 million. The year before that, it was about $3.5 million. And next year, it should be $15 million. As we grow into our newest product line and apply our technology into another vertical industry. So what's our go-to-market strategy for the company? Well, first, we started in commerce back in 2018. Then we spun that company out and scaled into the cannabis industry. We've been in the cannabis industry since 2020, and it's allowed us to build a sustainable infrastructure in hardware, software, customer service, and sales side of the business. Looking forward, we're planning to scale to other verticals as well. Life sciences is first on the list, and possibly hospitality in the future. In the cannabis industry, we're uniquely positioned as a leader. We build the devices that other companies can't. Then, eventually, they try to create their own competing systems by copying us. Our secret sauce is that we have a well-defined product development cycle where we can go from nothing to product in a customer's hand in under 6 months. And we know this is our secret sauce because we've done it 5 times in the past 6 years, and no one has been able to catch up. We know our customers deeply and understand the problems that they have on a visceral level. So we are always 24 months ahead of the rest of the curve. Our success has been documented, well documented in Forbes, Rolling Stones, various cannabis-specific publications, exclaiming that we are the market leader when it comes to developing robots in this industry. Currently, the company is 12 people, with my co-founder and I starting things a little over 5 years ago. Now we have a management team and operational team that's robust, seasoned in various businesses and engineering disciplines. Our team serves as a great foundation for building future products in this industry and others in advance. We're currently raising $10 million, 2 of which was raised in October via a venture debt facility. The next will be raised via our Regulation D and crowdfunding campaign that launched this week. Thank you very much. And let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, let's ask questions to Notal, who is in LA today, and it's probably 2 a.m. for him.
Yeah, it's pretty late here.
Okay, questions for Notal.
Yeah, so just a quick question over here, Subhashish here. While I think you have got quite a unique positioning in the cannabis industry, but the moment you're talking about entering other industries like life sciences, hospitality, I think it's going to be a different ball game. So, how are you looking at differentiating yourself? You moving over there?
So we were able to move from the pick and place industry into the cannabis industry by doing pretty robust customer development. And it was about a 5-month cycle time. And we did the same customer development before we even moved in to the pick and place kind of e-commerce inventory management. So I think we have a pretty strong background in forming the customer opinion, doing the customer interviews, building the first prototype, and taking a lot of effort on the front end to well define the problem set and well define the industry has been our saving grace and allowed us to build hardware that basically is product market fit after the prototype. So we don't do a ton of iterations and we don't end up in the sort of hardware black hole that a lot of industry and companies end up falling into. So think about going from pick and place to cannabis. They're not related at all in any way, shape, or form, but we were able to move. So we see the same challenge as we move forward.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Notal. And are you taking the call from your car, by the way? Your garage?
I am. I'm actually at a trade show and I'm driving back. So it's yeah.
Okay, Tahir, please go ahead.
Thank you. I had a quick question. So you're talking about doing prototypes. It's more aligned sort of your manufacturing strategy. So you're doing prototypes, you're making sure there's product market fit, doing iterations before you actually do your proper deployments, which is great. But I was also thinking, like, I mean, why are you guys not looking at off-the-shelf robotics in particular that can be used in particular settings as you move into new sort of industries where you can do an OEM integration rather than building from the ground up, you know? That might save you a lot of time, save you a lot of costs as well. And maybe it doesn't have to start with complex processes, but something that's a bit more in line with sort of streamlining, you know, what currently takes human beings, or streamlining menial tasks in a way, you know, like transportation and that sort of thing. So my question is like, you know, why not look at simpler sort of deployment strategies that allows you to integrate at an OEM level, so you don't have to go through that full design of like the design iteration process?
Yeah, so I mean, we actually do a lot of currently off the shelf procurement. It's probably what gives us our strongest edge, and it's why we're able to do the 6-month iteration cycles. Not everything we build is from scratch in house. For example, our latest product line that we just launched a couple weeks ago, we didn't need to build the robotics from scratch, right? We didn't need to build the robotic arm from scratch. We just bought the robotic arm and programmed it. But what we did do is do the last 20%, right? So the past 6 years, we built the whole robotics infrastructure, and that robotics infrastructure includes the SDK, which is basically the operating system of all of our robotics. We've also built that analytics backend. So 75% of everything we build is kind of the same, and that's the last 20%. Like, how are we going to reconfigure the end effector? Like, of everything we built in this last product, we designed the end effector and like a modified fluidized bed. But every other piece of the system was Siemens off-the-shelf microcontrollers. The frame, we didn't even make the frame in-house, right? It's like we take the things off the shelf and we apply very much a like open ecosystem approach to a closed loop sort of product development cycle.
Sure. Let's take the last question from Ricardo. Ricardo, please go ahead.
Yes, thanks, and congratulations, Lothar. Great presentation. Just curious about, from an investor's perspective, being in the cannabis industry, you're limiting your TAM just because of regulations, right? But you mentioned that you want to go into life sciences eventually. So I just wonder what's going to trigger that, and what is the timeline for increase your TAM by going into different industries?
Well, so we've been able to grow pretty effectively in a profitable way. So I guess that's something we left out. We've been cash flow positive this whole year, and that's what's helped in cannabis. But the trigger for us to move into the other industry is really partially the debt raise is going to help the exploration part of this process. And then completing the raise is going to give us the funds we're going to need to kind of explore that. We're basically going to break off 20% of the funds and kind of use that as like the platform for exploring the new industry. And, we don't know what we're going to build yet, but we know we can build things in a very well-defined cycle, and we know how to understand the customer base. And so that's our next path forward.
Thanks a lot, Lothar. Apologies, Rashmi, we'll have to take your question in the chat section. Next is Digital Keys, an Australian startup offering 5G IoT access control solutions. And here we go. Okay, am I frozen? Okay, good.
Hi everyone, my name is Steve Dunn and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Digital Keys. So the problem with the physical security industry is that industrial field electronic access control doesn't really exist. We're still using the same metal keys and mechanical locks that we've been using for the last 200 years. And this causes huge amount of losses in so many industries. For example, it costs cargo theft $30 billion per year. So the reason why electronic access control doesn't exist out there in the field is because of a lot of on-site equipment is required, a lot of on-site network infrastructure is required, and a lot of on-site power is required. And the existing solutions have also been hacked. So the problems with the existing technologies, you can see a big long list here. Traditionally, the RFID keycard electronic access control systems were wired together and required all of this on-site equipment, and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth solutions require extensive mesh network. So our company, Digital Keys, has built a complete end-to-end solution. We have a SIM card inside our locking hardware, which removes the need for any on-site equipment, and we connect to the internet over NB-OT and LTM networks, which exist on cellular networks. We've built a IoT platform at AWS, and we have cloud software and Digital Keys apps, and our locks can go into sleep mode, giving us very long battery life of well over 2 years at around 4 to 5 activations a day. And we're able to take advantage of mobile network security and encryption. And this also allows us to have alarms, padlock locking hardware. So you can see the SIM card at the bottom here, and we have an antenna there on the right. And then we have a large lithium final battery in the back there to give us the long battery life. So in our end-to-end solution, we have Digital Keys apps, we have smart access management software, cloud-based, and we also have APIs that enable third parties to connect their existing software and their existing apps. So the market opportunity is huge. The global access control market is growing at a rapid pace, and this forms part of the physical security and overall IoT market. So we're only one of a handful of companies currently building 5G OT connected access control systems. Most of our competitors are delivering Wi-Fi and Bluetooth solutions or the old metal key locks. Our business model is a SaaS one. We're looking to charge $3 to $5 per smart lock per month. We have great margins also on the hardware, and we're looking to introduce more IoT products onto our platform in the future. So we've already delivered a door hardware to the market, and we've sold over 1,200 locking systems, and we've currently got a number of large prepaid customers, and we're about to start some proof of concepts with these customers. Market segments that we're targeting, which include critical infrastructure companies and mining sites, because this is the first time ever that connected access control is available for these types of industries to use on meter boxes, street cabinets, gates, and places like this. So we have a founding team that can deliver this product to market. In addition to myself, I come from a background as an asset manager in local government. We've got Max, a full stack developer who's worked at AWS, and Richard, who has a PhD in accounting, as our CFO. And we have a strong engineering team, including full stack developers and electronic engineers. We're asking for a $500,000 seed investment. So we invite you to unlock the future with us.
Fantastic. Questions for Steve, please. Yep, Yuk, please go ahead.
Yeah, so what about your competition? Because you mentioned that competition is weak, but you didn't go into detail. I doubt there's nobody offering SIEMs or other similar solutions.
Sorry, I didn't quite pick that up. Can you just repeat?
Yeah, what about your competition? You mentioned Wi-Fi is not reliable, but I doubt you're the only person offering SIM-based lock on the market.
Yeah, so we've seen about maybe 5 or 6 other companies or consortiums or alliances of companies attempting to deliver a solution built on 5G OT. But the problem is there's too many different companies offering different parts of the solution. They're not offering a complete end-to-end solution. So yeah, we're pretty much the only company at the moment that has got the IoT platform, the software and the apps and the digital keys. So as the cloud-based software, as well as the you know, the smart lock itself. So yeah, what we're seeing with these competitors, such as in China, is that there's 5 or 6 different companies all offering the different parts. So I think they're finding it hard to collaborate together. And that's certainly why big lock manufacturers have not really you know, built anything yet, because they want to be in full control. They want to have their own, you know, they don't want to go to a third party for a cloud or a third party for a mobile operator.
Thanks a lot, Steve. If there are more questions, please use chat section. Next is Conformance X, a UK-based startup making drug launch process more efficient and streamlined. Here we go.
Hi. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present Brand Launch X. We are a team of distinguished global brand launch experts and consultants hailing from the life science industry, armed with extensive experience in product launches. The genesis of our venture lies in a curious observation. While new drug launches are pivotal for these life science companies, a staggering 90% of them end in failure, a challenge often swept under the rug. In response, Conformance was founded in August 2021 to create a launch platform to empower launch leaders. Our research unveiled a scarcity of accessible launch-related data scattered across various sources, leading to a lack of accountability when launches falter.
I previously ran marketing for Merck here in the US. I've had the great pleasure of working with the team here at Conformance X on an exciting new solution to help pharmaceutical marketers and specifically new product launch teams to be more successful with their launches in today's changing environment. I don't need to tell you that drug launches are highly intricate endeavors involving multiple tasks, teams, and resources. However, over the past 3 years since COVID-19, research from EY, Deloitte, McKinsey, and IQVIA have concluded that some 86 new drug launches underperformed by 42% compared to pre-pandemic benchmarks, costing their companies over $10 billion in lost revenues. The root causes identified include misalignment of teams, inefficiencies in planning, and inadequate resources, all contributing to a lackluster performance in the critical first 6 months. With this in mind, we embarked on a series of workshops to better identify these challenges in real time, culminating in the development of a definitive framework to construct a platform that will allow more successful new drug launches.
After 18 months of dedication and effort, we proudly present Brand LaunchX, the epitome of successful drug launch strategies. Brand LaunchX is an intelligent IT platform that maintains constant vigilance over every facet of the drug launch journey, providing you real-time insights, updates, and alerts. This cutting-edge system is further bolstered by our esteemed panel of brand launch experts. The system is structured into three major segments. The very first section is Planner, which is a repository of over 1,500 tasks, enabling customization, template usage, or import of other existing plans. The second segment is Launch Impact Navigator, which is an AI-powered early warning system, identifying launch risks and their impact, facilitating the course correction to ensure the on-time and budget launch delivery. The final section is Recommender, which will deliver launch benchmarks based on live data, optimizing new drug launches. Brand LaunchX is a purpose-built for life sciences companies, designed in collaboration with global brand launch experts and tailored for global launch leaders.
To summarize, an industry where launch delays are common and performance in the first 6 months is critical to launch success. Brand Launch is an AI-enabled platform that optimizes new drug launches by saving time and effort with inbuilt Launch Impact Navigator. Brand LaunchX also drives collaboration and accountability by providing visibility across the launch journey. Thus, Brand LaunchX can enable a positive drug launch performance that would benefit both patients and the industry, which makes it a great investment opportunity. We are seeking to raise $2 million USD, and you could help us build a great organization. Thank you in anticipation of your support.
Awesome. Do we have questions for Ankit, Ash, and Abhijit? Yeah, Rashmi, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Pankaj. Hi, Abhijit. Thank you and your team for the presentation. My question is, though I like the problem statement and the idea of building a brand facilitator for life sciences space, what I'm just struggling to understand and what I could gather, what you are trying to create as a platform, it seems to be more of a project management tool rather than anything else, right? That you're trying to build something which is cohesive of tasks, reminders, and how close you are to deadlines. How will that ensure a successful brand launch? That part is something which I'm missing. Maybe you can help me understand better.
Thank you, Rashmi. I will take this question for you.
Sure.
So the reason it's not just a project management, it has some aspect of a project management tool, because as you've seen, the major problems in this entire drug launch space is the alignment and visibility of many people, many tasks. So it does have that aspect of that. But the differentiation is, it is not just project management, it is way more than that. We have included an experience of so many launch veterans who have launched drugs in their past. Like, there are many pivotal things which usually gets missed when you are creating your own entire launch strategy. And then because of so many people, bureaucracy, and so many other factors, things just start to get delayed. A lot of tasks gets replicated, duplicated. That's where our system comes into picture. It gives you an early warning system onto each of the action performed. If the action is not as per the best practices which are available or which were documented by various experts, the system gives you a warning system and tells you this is not the right way to do. The correct way to do is so and so. So that is why we have also included a human element as well, wherein all the launch experts, they come into picture, gives you a course correction in order to do that. I'll tell you a very basic example. A company in Europe, a big biotech, they launched a drug in neuroscience, and then they started their entire market segmentation based on this approach that they're going to be UK is going to be their primary market for neuroscience. They started mapping out a lot of key opinion leaders and doctors to be approached.
Later on, it was a work done of 5 to 6 months with so many teams. The only caveat which they missed was in UK, most of the neuroscience, most of the doctors, they do not have their own private clinic. They're associated with NHS. So the easiest thing you could have done is just approach the NHS and get the data. So these kind of things, they usually get missed when it comes to launch strategy because the launch project in itself is huge. It goes on for 36 months. It's not just a month or 2 month project, and thousands of people get involved. So due to that, so many minute things gets missed out, which is causing the industry losing billions of dollars every year. That's what we want to address from a very, very life science expert perspective.
Thank you, Ankitash. Let's take the next question from Ricardo. Ricardo, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for the presentation, Ankitash. Just curious, maybe build up on that. How do you ensure the scalability of the platform and that you won't be dependent on input from those launch experts, and that you're actually translating the expertise of experts and consultants into a scalable product?
So, Ricardo, that's a good question. So what we have started to do is we have started to collate all of those experts, comments, recommendations, scenarios, and started building our own scenario bank and a recommendation bank. We have also started working on a machine learning algorithm based on whatever experiential data we have received. And we are in a stage wherein the model is ready, but it is to be tested in the live with the live client. So that's where we are at the moment. In the next 3 years, what we want to do is create a huge bank so that the human dependency gets reduced to a lot of extent, and then the system can automatically predict and recommend you the scenario resolution. That's where we want to go to reduce the dependency.
Thanks a lot, Ankitash. We'll have to move on to the next presentation, which is Zero Circle. It's a US-based startup creating green financing opportunities for small to mid-sized businesses. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Himit Seri, and I'm the founder of Zero Circle. We are a climate fintech startup with a mission to unlock the sustainable finance market for small and mid-sized businesses by creating a marketplace for green loans. Today, sustainability efforts for small and mid-sized businesses are significantly underfunded. There are over $60 trillion of assets under management in various forms of loans and pension funds that will have to be transformed into green assets over the next 10 or 20 years to meet some of our net zero commitments. In addition to that, there are more than 80 million businesses that do not have an easy way to access or qualify for these green financing options. Most tier 1 banks have green bond programs to finance $50 or $100 million energy transition initiatives. And there are various initiatives and startups focused on the micro businesses in developing nations to support the sustainable transition. But transformation is held back in the mid-market. For example, the independent truck driver trying to decarbonize his 10-truck fleet, or the multifamily property owner trying to reduce his energy usage. The process today is complex, expensive, and non-standard. This is where Zero Circle can help. We are launching an innovative marketplace connecting businesses and lenders to access and deploy green loans. Our AI-powered marketplace helps businesses qualify for green loans by creating a comprehensive lender-focused sustainability profile. We align and connect businesses with the relevant lenders based on the lender's impact and sustainability criteria. Once a loan has been issued by the lender, we partner with the business to monitor their ongoing sustainability milestones and covenants identified by the loan. With Zero Circle, we can help unlock new opportunities, increase financial returns, and reduce risk both for the lenders and organizations while focusing on the planet. We do this using our proprietary multi-state sustainability assessment framework that combines data, analytics, AI to automate and simplify the sustainability assessment for a mid-sized company. This will help the organization very quickly create their lender-specific impact performance scorecard to qualify for green loans on the marketplace. The platform is currently live for the SMBs, and we are planning to launch the marketplace in the next 90 days. The market opportunity for Zero Circle is significant, given the increasing pressure on companies to reduce their carbon footprint and become a more sustainable organization. As more organizations prioritize sustainability, platforms like Zero Circle will be needed to help them transition to meet their objectives. While we have not yet seen a direct competitor, we are seeing a lot of activity both in the public and private sectors that are attempting to address this problem for the mid-market. In addition to that, there are a number of organizations on the horizon, like ratings agencies and crowdfunding platforms, and even tier one banks that are trying to focus on green financing for the mid-market. We have had strong traction across the entire sustainability assessment lifecycle since we launched at the start of the year. We have multiple pilots underway and discussions with several financial institutions to partner with us on the launch of the marketplace. We are currently helping qualify about $16 million of green loans for a number of organizations using our sustainability framework. And our sales pipeline is extremely strong as we are seeing a lot of interest and demand for Zero Circle. Our business model is simple. We charge the financial institutions a transaction fee based on the size of the loan, and the organization an annual platform fee based on the size of the company. We're currently focused on loan sizes between $50,000 to $15 million in the logistics and the real estate sectors. We also have the right team to make this a success. With over 20 years of experience, I have developed enterprise-grade solutions focused on financial services, supply chains, and sustainability. My partners, Ambi and Doug, are entrepreneurs and have successfully scaled products to $100 million in revenue for small and mid-sized businesses during their careers. The company has been bootstrapped so far, and we are currently fundraising for $750K to fully launch the marketplace, onboard 200 organizations, and provide us with 12 months of runway. Thank you for your time today, and please reach out if you have any questions.
Okay, we have Hemant on the call at 4:30 a.m. his time in New Jersey. Hugh, please go ahead. Please.
Yes. So your platform is non-regulated, right? This is going to become regulated probably fairly soon. Or are you going to place it? Because non-regulated is not going to be sustainable at all.
We are working on that. That's part of our phase 2. Phase 1 we can't get there yet. It's expensive to become regulated platform. Our longer term objective is to be part of the underwriting process for the bank, which means we have to get certified. We're already working on some of the right connections to get into that process, but it's going to take some time for us until we scale it up a little bit. One of the first things I wanted to mention, one of our angel investors is one of the founders of the LEED certification. So through his help and his connections, we're going to allow us to get into the real estate regulatory space where we can say, okay, we have somebody on our board who's going to help us get to that standpoint. But I totally get it. We need to get that. That's our objective.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot. Jabez, please go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yes, thanks, Hemant, for the presentation. It's very interesting, especially, you're targeting the SMBs. My question is, more than the funding part, SMBs actually look for ideas as to how to make their product or how to move into the sustainability. And so how do you facilitate that? While funding is a great thing to do, but for them, ideation becomes more important. How do you facilitate that?
So that is where we are looking to work with partners on that. That will kind of deviate us from our kind of core competence and mission. We have a number of either consulting services partners or measurement verification partners that we can work with to account for those kinds of activities. For us, they become a pre-feeder for us. So they're not our client until they have done some of that early work to figure out what they want to do. So for example, one of the partners we recently met that we're going to collaborate on, they do the measurement and verification in the New York State for multifamily homes to figure out how to get your architectural design form done and what potential expected cost and savings you can get. Then they come to us, and then we facilitate the financial transactions with the right institution. So that is not our space. We are in kind of the second step of that process.
I see there are a bunch of interest, a bunch of questions. Hugh, please go ahead.
Yes. So what about the competition? I see your platform in such things. So where do you situate yourself?
So as far as I've seen, there's not a direct competitor, but there are companies that are trying to attempt this in various ways. So I've seen a couple of large banks trying to target the mid-tier segment. You can go to a big bank today and get a $50 million, $100 million loan. We can do that today in green loans. But those banks are not targeting the mid-tier and small SMB segment just yet. I know a couple of ratings agencies that are trying to use their ratings as part of the assessment lifecycle for various banks in supply chain finance. And it's a slightly different segment and market. And there are crowdfunding platforms, which I would say is the closest proxy, but they are holding the funds. They're actually issuing funds based on, getting $10 million for a solar wind farm and essentially crowdfunding those projects themselves, right? We are not in the funding business. We are in the assessment business. So we want to be the assessor for various projects. And our objective is to work with various banks and institutions across the life cycle in different industries. So that's kind of a slightly different take in terms of what we're looking to do, which actually allows us to scale much more rapidly without being the actual holder of funds.
Thank you. Meenu, please go ahead. Last question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pankaj. I just want to know, how do you adapt to the geographical requirements, when you are moving to the markets, different markets, and are you planning to expand the markets or only concentrating into US or the developed markets?
Correct. So one of the things, and this is something we're still exploring, what's the best way to expand this, right? Because what we've observed in the last year or so is a lot of the marketplace dynamics is very, very localized, right? If I'm in New York, I need to only find funding sources in the New York area. Unless I'm a big bank, then they can do a little bit more global approach. But most financial institutions are very localized and very modular, if you will. So we are exploring some ways to scale this in a more modular fashion. And what that modular approach means, one kind of pod, as we call it, is combines financial institutions, customers, training, regulatory framework, and assessment lifecycle in one pod, if you will, right? And that's kind of where we're thinking about scaling. We're still testing it, nowhere near ready for that just yet. But right now we are working with a potential client in Dubai, another potential client in Africa. We're exploring certain activities in India. We're still early. We haven't had the right connections yet. As we kind of expand there, we'll do that. But most fact, we're currently sitting in the US.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Hemant. If there are more questions, please take them in the chat section. Next is Geo Alert, which offers instant analysis of any location using satellite or imagery, aerial imagery. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Georgie from Geo Alert. We founded Geo Alert to power the intelligent and scalable geospatial imagery analysis for many industries that are disrupted by AI technologies. We are continuously wondering what kind of questions can be answered using Earth observation data and how to implement it effectively into the real business workflows on a large scale. We are building MapFlow with this idea in mind that one can easily get answers based on recent satellite imagery and stay updated on what's going on around in urban environment, in distributed utility management, in land use land management. Our platform speeds up the whole thing 10 times and more. No code, cloud-based, no need to purchase commercial imagery, data is connected or can be uploaded by the user himself. And everyone can start building his own deep learning mapping pipelines with just a few clicks. Let's get more business specific. MapFlow API helps to empower external GIS solutions with AI capabilities. MapFlow QGIS integration generates detailed reports about vegetation near power lines to help manage and mitigate risks and provide power line stakeholders with important information. One of the most commercial cases using MapFlows is generation of 3D building footprints from 2D imagery, which is extremely helpful and important for telecom operators to design and plan radio frequency networks on a large scale. MapFlow is used globally. We have more than 1,500 active users monthly. We have 2 large and dozens of small B2B clients. So we are looking for the development and promotion of our product in international markets, mainly in geospatial domains in India, Southeast Asia, and China. And the market of Earth observation is quite surprising. Only 2% of space demonstration applications is connected to Earth observation apps. And it's illogical in comparison to what we have in Earth observation upstream, which is 27%. How are you going to use and adopt all this data producing on the orbit if you don't know about applications and implementation of this data? That's why we think that we are at the spot of the rise of AI applications leveraging Earth observation data. So providing the platform to empower and showcase these applications is scalable and long-term strategy here. The market landscape is not very homogeneous and it's competitive because of the geospatial vendors and startup companies. We position our product as a low-cost, ready-to-use, and highly performing, customizable to the industrial customers' requirements. We have this roadmap. We are working on the next version of the platform with the given research milestones as building with heights, event classification in large number of images. Our team, we've been working together for several years in Institute of Research and Technology. We moved our engineering team to Uzbekistan in 2022. We opened the new operational office in this year in the United States. Our team has joint expertise in the field of software engineering and data science. We are passionate about maps and data science. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Fantastic. Yanshu, please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I would like to know what's your target profile and the target domain or target industries.
Okay, thank you for your question. Actually, we are targeting those who are interested in leveraging geospatial imagery with AI. And there is mainly we are targeting cartographers and data scientists who are interested in leveraging spatial analysis. They are distributed across many industries. First of all, we are targeting, to be more case specific, we are targeting telecom operators who want to do it extremely cheap on a large scale without investing into LiDAR data, into stereo imagery, because it costs much more than we propose with our technology. And also we're targeting companies responsible for utilities management, like monitoring of risks related to vegetation and something else in security zones, mainly power line operators, power line stakeholders.
Thank you, Georgie. Yep, Tahir, please go ahead.
Yes, so following on from Georgie's question and your answer, so you say you're targeting these power line stakeholders. Like, what's your strategy for winning these people over, right? So is it that you just go and find them, or do you partner with the people that maybe do post-structural failure event monitoring, and maybe you partner with them and that gives you an edge, and then from there you're able to take on like monitoring and that sort of thing for them directly after that? Or like, how is it that you actually win these people over? Because these utilities typically take a long time to make decisions and to sort of onboard customers. So what's your strategy around that?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. This is very long sales cycle for us, as we are a small company. So in our experience, we are partnering with integrators, company who already supply some solutions to power line stakeholders, or to like companies who provide consultancy services. And they are, our platform is publicly available, and this is, it reduces our cost to attract new leads. And we have a number of consultancy companies, integrators who develop their own solutions. Some of them are quite big to work with power line stakeholders and even bigger companies. That's why we're partnering. We are looking for more partners in this industry.
Thanks a lot, Georgie. Really appreciate that. And if you have more questions, please use chat section. Next is Kernel. It's a US India-based startup offering intuitive financial management tool for SMBs in South Asia. And here we go.
India is destined to be the third superpower in less than 5 years. But it needs to solve a pesky problem: access to finance for almost all of their micro businesses. Lenders have two problems in doing this. It's hard to reach those customers in the rural areas. But most importantly, they lack the data with which they can make decisions. But everything is changing in India. India is one of the youngest population with almost 1 billion internet users, and 50% of all the digital payments in the world is happening in India. But most importantly, Prime Minister Modi has enacted a tax reform called GST, which is going to affect directly or indirectly all 75 million businesses in India. By 2025, everybody will have to digitize or go bust. For that reason, we created a simple yet very powerful tool that helps mobile-first, low financial literacy customers comply with the regulation and digitize fully. That, on the other hand, allows us to capture one of the most comprehensive proprietary data sets on our users. That data we're able to monetize in two ways. In step number one, we act like a loan marketplace, loan origination system. We connect businesses to financial institutions, and we make up to 4%, depending on the product and the ticket size, on every successful loan. But in the second phase, as we generate a lot of data, we want to sell this data as a scoring for financial institutions. We already have 3 partnerships in India with loan marketplaces, and we are able to solicit 83 loans as a small-scale experiment. And as we've been spending most of our times in India for the past 2 years, we believe that we perfectly go-to-market strategy. It consists of 2 pillars: direct-to-customer and strategic partnerships. Strategic partnerships is more like an enterprise sales, which has a huge sales cycle. Already, we have one of the biggest MSME associations in India, and we have 2 significant companies in the late stages of the negotiation. As for our direct-to-customer, we have already achieved sub $5 active user acquisition cost, and lead to conversion for the micro businesses as a users is above 10% already, which we believe we can improve even more as the regulation hits the market from 1st of January on our customer base. And this problem is not unique to India. All of the global South countries have access to finance problem, and we are ready to enter any one of them. We're just waiting a perfect timing, either tax reform or some kind of big incentive that will allow us to enter that market. And the team is perfectly suited to capture this problem. I've digitized all of the loans in the biggest bank in Georgia. Becca, as a financial manager, has helped hundreds of businesses around the world to digitize and comply with the regulations. And we also have Indian person as a chief business officer who led the Western Union in India, Maldives, and Sri Lanka. Currently, we're raising $500,000 at a $6 million post-money valuation as a safe notes to achieve 2 important milestones: LTV to CAC ratio 5:1, and to hit $40,000 monthly revenue. If you want to join this revolution and help micro businesses and developing countries achieve their destiny, come talk to us. My name is Georgi Tukhashvili. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Kernel. Thank you.
Fantastic. Anshu, please go ahead. You have a question.
Yeah, hi, thanks for this presentation. It's the world that you are kind of going to plunge in is a very crowded market already in India. GST compliance has been beaten to death by fintech companies. So how are you going to be different, and how is your marketing strategy going to be different in India? Plus, also, I want to know what's your plan for the near term to expand into the countries that you mentioned?
Hi, Anshu. Thanks for the question. Obviously, India is not a small market, so we're not the only ones who see this huge opportunity. But there are many differentiators between us and the rest of the competitors. I'll just name the most important one, and the rest we can continue conversations later on. The number one important thing is most of our competitors, direct big competitors, have raised money when it was relatively free and valuations were crazy high. Now they have huge pressure to generate revenue, which they found the biggest way they do this is by charging directly for SaaS subscription, which we believe is a significant inhibitor for growth and grabbing market share. And we believe our timing is right, as India is poised to improve access to finance. Just by being able to retain the customers, our revenue is going to increase because access to finance is going to increase. So that's our strategy, and the vision is the biggest differentiator, which allows us to do the things that our direct competitors cannot do. As for the next question, which targeted the other markets, we actually tried to go to Philippines in 2022, as they should have had the
same regulation coming in, and we have almost 30,000 users in Philippines. But because of elections, they pushed the regulation a bit later on. Later on, it's going to start 2024, and it's going to affect only 100 companies. So what I can say that we're actively monitoring few countries, and then we have few partnerships that are lurking around. And if there is a great incentive, because us directly digitizing micro businesses where they have no incentive is going to be close to impossible. But if there is any significant incentive for us to go in any market, we have built the tech in a way that allows us, as long as we have the regulation understood and all the things, we can enter any market basically in a month from a technical perspective. So we're monitoring closely. It depends on how this develops.
Thanks a lot, Georgie. Rashmi, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Georgie. I completely in sync with the problem statement your startup has identified. Now, my question, and why I'm asking is because I've rubbed my shoulders for last few years with thousands and thousands of SMEs, right? Though the problem statement exists, and there have been few solutions already in the market. You must have interacted with Opportunity, Network, Global Linker. They are doing all what you're attempting to do. My specific question is, how are you making yourself differentiate when it comes to the cost of this digital platform? I'm assuming, let's say it solves all the 100% of the problem, but how is the cost coming economical to the SME?
Yeah, actually, I can't share too many details, but I just wanted to point out the Global Linker. That's an interesting potential partner for us. Yeah, so we've been in conversation with them for some time now. Again, this is more like an enterprise sales. It may take a bit more before it activates. So you're absolutely right. In terms of the platform, we saw, as we've spent almost 2 years now in India observing and experimenting and doing a lot of things, we see that even though micro businesses are generally price sensitive, Indian micro businesses are extremely price sensitive. So for that reason, because again, I don't want to name the numbers for other competitors, which is kind of like an insider information we have, but they've been severely restricted in the number of customers they can acquire because they're charging money, and they're increasing the subscription fee almost every year. So how we want to go is like, we want to make it basically free. We may have like a premium tier for like support or something, but basic functionality should be free for everyone. And then we monetize this totally differently.
Okay, so the revenue model is not going to be SME. It is something else, which possibly partners could be one chain to it, but yeah.
Correct. Our revenue model is in the lending part, because almost all of the SMEs require loan at one point or another, especially as India is about to exponentially and double their GDP per capita. So the requirement for fuel is usually very high. So we partner there and we just connect the lenders and the SMEs, and we make a success fee of up to 4%, depends on the loan type, etc., etc. That's the phase one where we are at, and the phase two is monetizing this a bit differently.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, Georgie. Let's take the last question from Javez, and I know probably there are more questions. We'll take them in the chat. Javez, please go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Georgie, for the presentation. I wanted to know, see, we have a lot of MSMEs and SMEs, and the government also provides a lot of loans to anybody who applies for. So I want to know, who are your actual target customers, because those who are eligible would anyway go to the government. And my second question is, do you have an insurance? Because bad debts is always a part of the loans. So do you have an insurance, or what is the kind of percentage on bad debts?
Great questions. Let me start with the second one. Is easier and faster to answer. So we're not, as of now, we're not in the middle of lending from our own balance sheet or getting involved in any kind of cost of risk or cost of collection. We're just a connector, because we are a startup with limited resources. So our thing is just to focus and make sure that we hit unit economics profitability and scale and grab as much market share as possible in the early stages, because the regulation and the timing is right for this one. As we go along, we may get into that as we plan to do some kind of alternative credit bureau on alternative data. So it depends where the market has developed. We may have to get into some kind of guaranteeing or anything like this. But so far in the next year, that's not our target. We don't plan to do anything like this. So this does not really affect us at all at this point. Well, financial institutions have their own ways, how they underwrite, how they make decisions, who to give loan to, and we just help make connection. That's about it. As for the first question, which is very interesting question, is as we tried we tried talking to people from north, east, south, west, and center, and we tried talking to all spectrum of micro businesses. I would say that our ICP is close to 50. I hope everybody's at least somewhat comfortable with lakhs and crores. So 50 lakh to 5 crore. So that would translate to roughly $60,000 to $600,000. So 5 crore and below is technically where under definition it is micro business, but we are kind of like a higher end of micro businesses. But one important aspect that they should have, and we do not restrict, but this is just generally what our ICP characteristic that our ICP has, is they have to have accountant or CA or whatever that may be outsourced. So if they have accountant internally, usually accountants have tally and they do perform all those kind of things, and accountants take care of those things so that business owners do not have to do anything on that part. So our ICP consists of 50 lakh to 5 crore, and CAs outsourced. They deal with them on a monthly basis or something like this. There are a few sectors that we do not touch. I'll just name some few of them, like, for example, restaurant businesses, because there is a paid puja. Like wherever there is a vertical specific complex requirements, we don't really touch them. It is more like a horizontal solution that is generic for everyone.
Thanks a lot, Georgi. Really appreciate you answering questions so patiently, and thanks to all the jury members for taking your time and asking questions and providing the feedback or offer of support. What I would love to do now is I would love to request our jury members to probably pick 1 or 2 startups that stood out for them. So probably you can talk about 2 startups that were excellent or relevant from your perspective, from your firm's perspective, from your organization's perspective. May I start with Tahir, please?
Okay, thanks. Just going through the list and the notes that I made. I like the idea of digital keys, actually. I think there's a point of integration with 2 or 3 of the startups that we have in our portfolio. So I think there's cross-selling opportunities. I think they're onto something. So I definitely want to explore a conversation with them. And then if I have to look at it, the next one I think that's most relevant. We've got an Ocean Hub accelerator, that we actually incubated and they spun out and they're doing it really well. And I think Boatmate might be a really good fit there as well. So I would like to facilitate an introduction there if possible. But all in all, I think it is a great crop of entrepreneurs. I see a lot of opportunities to work with most of them, actually. But you just asked me now which 2 off the bat, and those are the 2. So
that's a difficult question, right?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Tahir. You please go ahead.
Yeah. So the most, I would say, pertinent in terms of investment for us would probably be also digital key, in that they're quite advanced in terms of products. I'd like to know more about the sales and definitely have a more advanced conversation. Beyond that, I would have two startups for the second, actually, so to give you 3. Modular CX is doing some things that one of the projects that we have invested in is also trying to develop as an add-on to the business. So I would do an introduction and potentially support a potential collaboration. And for kernel, I would like to understand a bit more the specific, as it's one of the market, the group behind the family office EthAum. So also, I'd like to have a further conversation.
Fantastic. Appreciate that, Hugh. Okay, Rashmi, do you want to go next, please?
Okay, I was still collating my thoughts, but yeah. So I think the last one I will put at the top. If they are able to kind of put the problem statement in the right perspective and drive it through the partners, because NBFCs in India, banks in India, whether it is SIDBI or any other bank for SMEs, they are struggling to kind of bring the SMEs on the digital platforms, right? They themselves do not have the core competency or even the attitude to do that. But if they can collaborate with somebody who can understand the SME persona per se, and that's the input too, right? For doing anything, you really need to understand how SME behave and what they do, kind of go for what they go for. So I would say that I would rate that as first. My second one, I would say that was the one with the surgeons, Singular Technologies, right?
Singular.
Yeah. Now, I saw that that as a potential because not many medicine doctors are going in the teaching line, right? They're really struggling for doing the OPDs and surgeries and getting attached to the hospital, running their own clinics. And the college education comes at the last priority. They're always in the shortage. If that business model is put in the right perspective and to the right market, it can really do wonders, in terms. So that was my second. I mean, I like the business model per se. Sure. Now, for the earlier one, I'm not sure about the investment, but what I can personally invest is my deep knowledge of SME sector.
Sure.
And connect with SBI, SIDBIs, and banks and NBS of the world. If there's any way I can be of help, I'll be happy to help. Can I stop at two, or do I need to pick third? I may have third, but I'm just struggling which was that.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah, no worries. And I know that any kind of support is definitely highly appreciated. Yeah. I know that Georgie from Kernel will be extremely excited to connect with you and connect with your connections in the SME space and with Zero Circle as well. So yeah, definitely please do that, Rashmi.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay, you want to talk about one more?
Yeah. Okay. So the company which was doing on the maps, I'm sure that their unique differentiation or accuracy would come if they are processing the data right. And data engineering is very core to our group of companies, and we would be very happy to help them wherever they need their data engineering piece to be corrected. Because if the data is not done right, their accuracy of what they're saying on the maps possibly will get compromised, is my assumption. If they feel that they need help on the data engineering piece, we can help them out.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Rashmi. Let's see who's next. Jabez, do you want to go next?
Yes. Just a minute. Okay, I would rate the first, the last one, the kernel, as somebody who I think they're very clear on what they want to address. They are quite well versed with the market conditions, and I think they know what they want to do. What they would probably really need to look at is probably more detailing into each of the market, because India market can be very different from Philippines. That's something that I think they will do it on their own. I'm not sure about how much of what is the actual cost to the customer finally of the loan. If the cost to the loan, because the investor whoever is giving the loan would be charging an interest, And then on top of it, there will be a platform fee. Both put together, whether I'm sure they would make an interesting proposition, but that's one feedback that I have for them. Then the next one would be on the digital keys. It's very interesting, but I think each market is again going to be very different. I would probably I'm not much aware of the market they're currently addressing, more of the Americas. But when it comes to the strength or the wear and tear of the product in various markets and the theft, I think there is something that they need to look at. Whether SIM cards will work in all of the places, that's also a question. But they have a very interesting proposition. My last one would be on Singular, that I think Rashmi has really articulated it well, even when the question answer was going on. I think they make a great product for, especially in the education part, because with education there is a lot of deterioration in terms of teaching across the globe. So these are things that can be put together by the best of people and help create great doctors or technology guys in the medical field. I think that's another very interesting product, if you ask me. Those are the three.
Thanks a lot, Jabez, for your feedback. Meenu, please go ahead. Top 2 startups from your perspective.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for raising the hand because I have another meeting in the pipeline, so I just will wind this up. So fintech is always my lucrative space. Further to that, Zero Circle is something which is very attractive with when it comes to the blend of climate tech or ESG and fintech. So I see a lot of scope in expanding and into the emerging markets, and because the net zero is the target for towards 2050 and 2070 kind of a range, where we can have a lots of scope in developing the product, and we need to deep dive into the scope of different geographies and how well it can be collaborated with various partnerships. That is something which I found it very interesting. Another one is Pentype. The AI into fintech space. Definitely there are challenges of AI which is coming into the space, but if we work on what is the adaptation that is possible with regards to the geographies and requirements, I think that can also give a good it's something which is investable and which is a scope of investment. That is what my perspective is all about, the investing cost perspective. Sure. So from that viewpoint, so these are the 2 that comes in the top list. Then sorting robotics also, I found it something which is unique and which can be into the cannabis market, which there is a lot of scope of developments that is possible. But only the thing is there are lots of regulatory frameworks that needs to be adapted when it comes to thinking about the market expansion. So yeah, these are the 3 which comes to my priority list.
Thanks a lot, Meenu.
Thank you so much.
Anshul, do you want to go next, please?
So I think from the fintech world, I think we have a common target to hit. So yeah, Colonel was somebody I really heard, but I have a different opinion about the entire piece that you're doing, and there's a reason for it. But having said that, keep hitting at it. I mean, there is a big pie to be eaten. So absolutely. So it was kind of a mix and match for me, where I think there's a lot of scope, but potential has not yet been realized by other fintechs, definitely. So I'll kind of park that. Singular, yes, kind of blew my mind in the sense that what they could achieve through assistive technology for the doctors, not just for universities, but for doctors as well, could be huge, and especially in India, because there are a couple of guys who have exited out of health tech, and they can make some very good connections to you guys based on your pricing and all, to the hospital chains and all. That's why it was kind of my favorite. And the other startup I was interested in knowing more about was GeoAlert. I really think that considering the drone technology that's coming in India, and the way we are analyzing so many things through maps and all, including ocean technologies that are coming in. They could be a good solid bet for the years to come. Not just telecom, but to so many other, PropTech and other surveillance technologies, especially regarding drones and all. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Anshul, for your feedback. Subhashish.
Yeah, hi. I think very interesting. Been a bit tricky in which would be my top 2 or top 3. I think certainly Kernel is one I would put right up there. I think they're in the right place at the right time. It's a double-edged sword for them because they are competing not with one but two. But nonetheless, I think there is, as I think Anshul rightly said, there's a lot of scope. It's a huge market, and I think that's one of my top bets. Geo alert again, I think not keeping it restricted to satellite imagery. If you could look at more in what you can do in the enterprise business segment, there is a lot of scope for what could happen with imagery and especially drone technology if that comes through. I've been interacting with some of our clients over here, and I think this has the potential to address a lot of the challenges that they face, especially in the utility sector, like he mentioned. But I think it needs to be refined, it needs to be sharpened. That's another. And third, which I found quite fascinating and has a huge future, is Pentape. And I don't know when they come to India, but that is definitely going to be my third pick. So these are the top 3. Submit. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Subhashish. And again, thanks to all the jury members. Thanks to the audience for joining in this session today, in this marathon today. Again, thanks a lot to the startups for putting all the information in this 4 minutes long presentation and trying to provide as much information as possible in 2 to 3 questions. It's very difficult. It's very painful to do all of that within that short amount of time. So again, I think this is not the end of this conversation. This is just the beginning. We should be able to go ahead and schedule one-on-ones to see how we can collaborate, how we can support each other, or probably look into the funding or co-GTM, prospects. Again, thanks everybody for joining, and we will be reconnecting soon and expanding this relationship. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Pankaj.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.